I get pretty damn annoyed when I hear somebody complaining, especially when they're complaining about circumstances that they themselves created. It's unbelievable how common this is. Warriors of Light, what's poppin'? Your boy is back. We're back with another video. Today, I want to talk about succubuses, leeches, energetic vampires. They're all around us. They're super common, very low vibrational, very draining. How do you identify an energy vampire, and what can you do to deal with them? Because let's face it, they're unavoidable. These types of people lurk in our everyday lives, and it can be very stressful and very draining to deal with them. This could be strangers, this could be your parents, this could be other family members, this can even be some of your best friends, and you may not even realize it. The problem with energetic vampires is not only do they latch onto you when you're being successful, when you're accomplishing things, when you're trying to become a better person, they affect you at a subconscious level. They affect you in ways you may not even realize, but all of these influences on our subconscious mind affect our day-to-day lives, and they begin to change us, usually for the worst. So, how do you identify an energy vampire? What do they look like? And how do they act? One of the biggest things that an energy vampire does is they lead empty conversations. You've definitely run into these types of people, right? To where they just talk and talk and talk and talk, but they're seemingly saying nothing. There's no substance to what they're saying, and a lot of these people are actually really smart. I've met some really smart people that just give me lip service. They can be all different forms. They can be talking about things having to do with small talk, like the weather, where you went to school, what you do for work, all these types of things. It could be talking about other people's lives, discussing other people as if they know them, discussing other people because their own life is boring, discussing other people for the fact of escaping their own inner thoughts. And then another form of empty conversation could be discussing the past. A lot of these people, they don't realize how caught up in the past they are, and they end up spending most of their time talking about the good old days. Talking about, oh, it used to be so much better back in the day. Oh, when I was in college, I was so athletic and I could have played for the NBA. All these sorts of things that are caught up in the past, these people are leeching your energy because they're not present in the moment and they're not focused on what they can be doing to make their life better in the future. Another form of energy vampire is somebody who complains a lot. Oh man, these people definitely annoy the crap out of me. And I guess they annoy me because I myself don't like it when I complain. So, we tend to not like things in other people that we despise in ourselves. So I get pretty damn annoyed when I hear somebody complaining, especially when they're complaining about circumstances that they themselves created. It's unbelievable how common this is. You hear it all the time. People complaining about their job. Oh, I gotta wake up and go to work because it's a Monday. You chose the damn job. Oh, my wife is nagging me. She wants me to go to the store and pick up diapers and food and tampons for her. You chose your partner. Oh, my car is so crappy. I have to get it fixed. Oh, my car is in the shop again. You chose your car. People who complain, they will leech your energy like crazy because their mindset is stuck in negative thought loops rather than looking at the blessings in their lives and looking at the things that are positive and uplifting in their lives. They're focused strictly on the negative. These are definitely not people you want around you. Another form of energy vampire, somebody who lacks drive and discipline. People that do the same thing day in and day out, day in and day out. It's crazy to me how somebody can live their life in such a monotonous fashion, not having the discipline to push themselves further, not having the drive, the passion within them to live their dreams. And that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And usually the people that lack drive and discipline are also the ones complaining. Most of us, at least the country I live in, we're doing better than 70% of the world's population. And that 70% of the world's population has more drive than us here. Another form of energy vampire is people who validate themselves with material possessions. People who have to be flashy all the time. Don't get me wrong, I love myself a fancy car. I used to be really into cars. I love myself some nice, expensive clothing. It is so cool to have the newest technology and have the most expensive gadgets. But validating yourself with material possessions or really anything that's outside of you, you are vampiring the people around you. You are compensating for your lack of self-confidence at the end of the day. Another form of energy vampires is people who are narrow-minded. What does narrow-minded mean? These are usually the small picture individuals, right? That fail to see the totality, complexity, and interwoven connection between everything. These are the types of people that the world is completely black and white to them. These are the types of people that it's either my way or no way, or I'm always wrong, you're always right. With being narrow-minded, what you're doing is not only limiting yourself, putting parameters around your own growth, but you are stunting the growth of others around you. Another form of energy vampires, and this one is big, ladies and gents. People who victimize themselves. These are individuals who have this idea or have this mentality, this theory that it's all everyone else's fault. The problems in my life are not problems that I created. There is some sort of outside oppression. There is this oppressor that created the circumstances in my life that I am now narrow-minded about, or that I am now complaining about. So you see how all these things kind of link in with each other. These are all symptoms of somebody who's a succubus, somebody who leeches your energy, and they're all interwoven. People who victimize themselves, they tend to be pretty narrow-minded. People who victimize themselves tend to lack drive and discipline to make their own lives better. They're always looking at whose fault is it? Whose fault is it that my life is the way it is today? This goes very, very deep into your psyche. Very, very deep. And that's why I wanted to cover this. And then finally, the last one, or at least the last major energy vampire that I can think of, is people who are easily influenced. People that don't have their own code, their own set of values. that they can stand on for stability, and therefore they are swayed, right? They're swayed like trees in the wind, just blowing wherever the wind blows. Easily influenced individuals, they tend to not have very high self-confidence, right? Because if they themselves were confident in their own values and morals and their own code that they live by, they wouldn't be so easily swayed, right? Somebody such as myself, I'm a huge skeptic, and that bugs a lot of people because I don't just believe everything that somebody tells me. I don't just hop on the next new cool trend that's coming out, because having your own code and having your own values just makes you a skeptic. Now, does that mean that I don't listen to people? No, of course not. Does that mean that I can't be convinced of something? No, of course not. But with people who are easily influenced, they just tend to accept a lot of things as truth. And that's a very scary thought. With people who are easily influenced, it's very scary because these are the people that are driving the market for a lot of things. People who are easily influenced by their doctors and teachers, by religion, by corporations such as the food industries and the pharmaceutical industries. These are the people that drive the market for these exploitative forces to make money at the end of the day. So that covers what I believe to be energetic vampires and what they look like. Who are these energetic vampires? You know, I did mention that these could be friends, family, strangers, co-workers, what have you. But at the end of the day, we're all energetic vampires. All of us vampire or have vampired people in one way or another. Shit. I guess we're just all toxic as hell. All of us drain people. All of us have no hope. Of course, I'm kidding. That's totally not the case. What I'm trying to say here is that at one point in time, all of us have been energy leeches, but what separates those who are in a state of being of a vampire and those who aren't is taking responsibility. Whenever you vampire someone, you have to take responsibility for you leeching their life force, leeching their energy, being a negative person. And that's what sets you apart from people who are just in a state of being an energy vampire. I know that may seem kind of jumbled up, but hear me out for a second. How many times have you accused somebody of being toxic as hell in a relationship, whether it be a significant other or a friendship or, a family member, anybody you know, and after maturing and looking at things in retrospect, you were like, holy shit, I was actually the toxic one. Or rather, we were both toxic to each other. So what separates those who are chronic energy leeches and those who aren't is simply just taking responsibility, owning up to your mistakes, and being aware of the fact that you were being inherently negative. I think that's a very important thing to realize because, as I mentioned before, victimizing yourself and saying that it's everyone else's fault, you're not being aware. You're lacking that self-awareness to be like, you know what? I wasn't at my best in this relationship. I wasn't offering what I could have offered. I wasn't wishing the goodwill of this person in this exchange of energy. And at the end of the day, that's all vampirism is just this disbalance. One person is leeching the other person, and then the person that's being leeched is being drained. And it's just very exhausting stuff. It's very exhausting stuff to be around these energetic vampires, especially on the daily. Doing this on the daily affects your psyche in such a way that you will begin to doubt yourself. You will begin to question your own self, question your own confidence, become insecure, just like the leeches who are around you. So, how do we deal with this? We come across these people on a daily basis. These types of people are attracted to those who are successful, who are bettering themselves, and are doing big things in their lives. Obviously, we can't avoid them. There's no avoiding energy vampires, but you can protect yourself, you can deal with the situation, and you can halt any vampirism, anyone who tries to vampire you in its tracks. And here's how you do it.